everybody. Welcome.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Welcome to Dan and James. Give it a go. Today we have a guest with us. We're joined by comedian, a fan of anime, and generally socially awkward person, Maanadh.
Woo!
Wow.
This is his first podcast. He's very nervous. So
And Maanadh is also our first ever guest to not be fully white.
It's a big day for us.
It's a big day for us, yeah.
We had to book him in advance.
Yeah.
We were very happy to have this.
James has a water bottle handy in case he needs to spray him.
Yeah, that's it. We'll keep him in line. Just gonna douse on it. No, I have a spray bottle on Andy. So don't worry. Just relax. Take it easy. But also keep in mind, if this doesn't go well, you're fired.
We're upstairs in James's house. We're in a room that isn't James's room yet, but might be soon. We were supposed to be in the kitchen, but his housemate is having a long party, and James is too much of a pussy to tell him off. So we have to film.
They're scary. My roommates are scary people.
We have to film up
pool
here.
sticks and drugs. I mean, that's a dangerous combination. You get me?
Well, yeah.
I mean, I'm just kind of like, we'll just do it. We'll just change our lives around you.
I'm looking at the camera.
I'm not looking
at the
camera.
Fucking,
I'm looking at the camera.
It's so fucking hacky when you look at the camera, dude.
I'm looking at the fucking cup now,
You're on
actually.
public television. What are you doing?
Well, I don't want to look at your ugly fucking face.
Welcome now. There's a nice atmosphere. We've been setting up the equipment for the last hour. James has been doing nothing. Maanadh has been reading. So we've been having a good time. There's a smell of something coming off James. I don't know what it is, and there's smell of curry coming off Maanadh. Sorry, I'm just being racist to you now. We're supposed to talk about anime. I'm just being, there's a smell of curry verse coming off me.
A smell of bullshit coming off of Dan here.
There's a smell of, what is a German smell that you could have?
The
Smell of Cyclone B coming off Dan.
Ashes.
Hot
take.
Oh.
We're having fun. We like to have fun.
How are you, Maanadh? How's your day been?
Yeah, it's been good so far. It feels less like a podcast and more like a interrogation room here, to be honest.
Yeah?
Oh, it is. Rest assured.
Well, the camera's just for show. We're trying to find out where you hit the body more than anything.
Okay, cool.
And would you recommend that spot for other bodies to be hid? Because I have a few roommates downstairs that really...
I just want to burn them now. It's fine. Yeah.
Oh, very smart. Very smart.
I'm the military-aged man they warn you about.
Oh, yeah? Well, when it comes to violence against women, Indian men are the leaders, so... Statistically, I think so. I do think so. I think by all countries, India is leading in like violence against women. So,
well, in our defense, there's also like a.
Don't fist bump me.
Cut this out. There's also like 1 billion of us, so it's just like
that is true.
Indian men.
Yeah, that is a very good point. Yeah,
you're gonna have that. Yeah.
Even if you have like 5% of say statistics of men are known for crime, except 5% of like 1.5 billion is.
That's that.
Yeah, more than population.
That is a good
countries.
point.
Of Ireland, actually. Yeah.
And in all fairness, England is like very high as well when it comes to violence against women, and they have way less people.
Yeah, so like statistically, they're probably worse. Yeah. Is it a similar problem though? Because the thing in England is that they beat their wives after a bad football match. So is it the same thing in India, but with like cricket?
The bad cricket match.
Yeah, something like that. You know, it's like
I get it though. You're looking for similarities between the two cultures to find out why that happens.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the love for curry.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
I just like to see Pakistan lose. That's it. That's all there is. Nothing else.
Is that like a rivalry that like you see Pakistan lose and then everyone in India is happy and India?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Even
cool.
if India isn't in the
no,
that's cool.
Yeah. If you whoop their ass, it's better.
So if India, if India, what's the relation? Like, is there like, is it like kind of like how England looks at Ireland type of thing, or
is it like a religious thing?
Yeah, cricket is sort of a religion, I'd say. We are very passionate about it. Like 11 men from 1 billion of us kind of decide how my mood is going to be for the next 3 months. So we take it very passionately, and we recently beat Pakistan in the T20 World Cup where we shouldn't have won the game, and we did. And that was fucking intense. We also ended up winning the World Cup after like since 2007. So yeah, that was good. I was partying in my room.
Very nice.
Just by yourself. Just
just having an aggressive wank.
Where does the rivalry stem from? Does Pakistan and India have like loads of wars? I'm very ignorant about the history, to be honest. I have no idea.
We did. It's a lot like England and Ireland, but how they have kind of made peace with it for a while. We haven't.
Okay, who's Protestant? Who's Catholic?
Well, we are all going to heaven, so we are like mostly Hindus.
We're all going to heaven.
So we are mostly, India is predominantly Hindu, but we have all other minorities as well. Pakistan is predominantly Muslim.
That would make sense.
So
that's why there's beef.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does make sense. That does make sense.
Actually, there's no beef in India.
Well, there is actually. We just don't eat cows. Some people eat water buffaloes, which is allowed.
So that's a stipulation. Like it's a workaround.
Loophole.
Yeah.
Loophole.
So they're like
butt sex for Catholics.
Yeah, they're like false prophets or something like
Did
that.
you ever hear about that? You know, Catholics are not supposed, like Catholic women are not supposed to like lose their virginity before marriage.
Okay.
Back in the day, Catholic women would have anal only.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
And they would keep their virginity.
Because God didn't mind that if there were women. If there were guys doing it, that's a problem. But no, women keep them pure, you know? It makes sense if you don't think about it.
Okay.
I think that was a very good introduction to you as a guest, Mana. Yeah, I think we've covered all
everything that the people need to know about you.
We've covered all the religious conflicts and all the racist stereotypes.
I'm still on a visa, so hope.
If you want to say something racist against Canadians or Germans, you can.
Canadians, that's. I think if you look at me, that's how most Canadians will be known in the next 5 to 10 years, just based on how many Indians are going there.
There are a lot. They are taking over.
This is how
we're too polite to say no. We're just like, come on in, all right.
This is such a threatening thing to say. Your child will look like me, James.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be some sort of spillover, and it's like, you guys move over your whole family and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a lot of you guys.
I respect it, dude. If we're doing racist stereotype, I like how you're just being like, well, I'm destroying your culture.
Yeah, against himself, but it's like offing him off.
Yeah. People really hate when some foreigners come to their country and destroy their culture.
I love it. I'm a big fan.
You're the
We're all immigrants in this country.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I hate cultures. I think if we all just had the same thing going on, it'd be much better.
So everybody just needs to keep on intermingling until it's just like one beige person.
Thing. And beige probably wouldn't be the color that comes out at the end. But
there's gotta be something like that, like somewhat tan or something like that. Like
until we all look like Drake.
Don't act like it, though. We're trying not to be pedophiles.
Am I bleaching myself or you guys are putting on fake tan? How does it work?
How about we do both? We'll meet in the middle. I'll get a tan, you get some bleach, we'll meet in the middle. We'll all be like mid-transition Michael Jackson.
Yeah, 50
We'll be like 1982 MJ type of thing, a.k.a. perfect.
Yeah, 50 Shades of Brown. Yeah.
50 Shades of Brown.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be anime. I think.
No, we always just talk shit in the beginning. But we do. Since you did bring it up, we do have a concept. We're talking about anime today. The little Japanese cartoons for perverts and incels. And we all like them.
And us.
We're part of that.
Bros, we're studs.
We're part of that. Mana, what's the first anime you've ever watched?
Like growing up, I would have watched obviously Dragon Ball Z. That was my first inspiration, I'd say. There were even other smaller stuff I used to watch, like Detective Conan.
Oh,
Case Closed and stuff.
You ever watched Detective Conan?
No, that's
Detective Conan is awesome, dude. Yeah, I love Detective Conan. He's like one of the best detectives in Japan, and then he gets turned into a small 8-year-old child.
Oh, what?
It's like the whole crux of the thing. And there's this I forgot his name. Is it Commodore Marius? It's like a fake out because the real main character is the little child who's like a super detective, but the guy who gets all the praise and who's like basically the traditional main character is this old guy who's a really shit detective. He's fucking terrible at his job, and this little child just solves all the cases for him.
Oh, nice!
He takes all the credits. Great show, dude. So good.
I think it's still going on, isn't it? Or I think
what? No way.
I think it stopped. I thought the manga was going on for ages. I'd say.
Really?
I don't know. I have not followed it since. I think I've watched whatever was animated.
Yeah.
I kind of had it in India, and after that, I never watched.
Did you ever watch the episode where they adapted Clue, the board game?
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, have you ever
It's been ages since I watched it. Yeah.
It's the only one I remember because it's like one of the very best ones. They just adapt, you know, the board game Clue?
Yeah.
Where you're like in the mansion and people kill each other. They just straight up adapted it in Detective Conan.
And that's a whole episode. Wow.
Yeah.
That's sick.
They're in a mansion, people slowly get killed off until they find the killer. It's fucking amazing.
Wow.
It's so clever. That's a great anime. Good. That's a good one to watch first. I watched that also when I was very young. I watched that and Dragon Ball and Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah.
Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! There was an alternative to Yu-Gi-Oh! As well, which was called Duel Masters.
Oh yeah, I watched Duel Monsters.
Duel Monsters.
Yeah, I watched Duel
Duel
Monsters.
Masters.
Duel Masters. I
I
watched
don't know if I
that.
saw that one. No, what's it's basically like it's kind of like Digimon. What Digimon is to Pokemon, I take it.
No, it's literally an alternative of Yu-Gi-Oh! So it's
Yeah,
it's similar to
it is
card game.
pretty much what Digimon is Pokemon. I would say that's pretty accurate, right?
Yeah.
It was a little bit edgier, I think. No, in some ways it was, in some ways it wasn't, and the animation was a lot worse. That's what I mostly remember from
Yeah,
it.
the
And that's
game
not
was
saying
sick,
much.
though.
That's
Yeah,
not
the
saying
game
much.
was sick. The game was
I
cool.
actually still have those cards at
Oh
home.
yeah,
Yeah.
I probably do too, man. I'll bring them
God.
over sometime. We can have a duel.
Oh god, because I have like shitload of cards and we used to buy and like when it was like obviously rainy seasons that we have in India and we couldn't go out and play, so we would just sit and play those cards for a while.
100%. Yeah.
Oh god,
Those are the glory
Yeah.
days of childhood where you just like, just meet me at the playground. We're going to sort this out with a duel. Like,
Yeah,
there was like a whole year where we stopped doing like fist fights and we just like let our cards do the talking.
Yeah.
And I think that was like the best sort of like way to like remediate a situation.
I know.
You ever play for ante? You know what that means? When you like have a card, you both put in a card and the winner gets both cards.
Did that. That was
Yeah, you
hardcore.
played for ante.
Oh, you'd be
Yeah, but on
devastated
that-
if you
yeah,
lost.
ante was fucking hardcore because you'd put in like your blue Aussie white dragon or whatever, and then the other guy would put in his best card, and whoever wins gets both.
I got an obelisk once that way.
Oh, but that was obelisk is kind of shit.
No, but it was sick at the time. It's me, an Egyptian god.
Yeah,
To
you're
my
right. You're
11-year-old
right.
brain, I was like,
I'm actually being stupid. When you're like 11, you get an Egyptian god card. You're not thinking, oh, competitively, this is a very bad card.
I mean, like, excuse me, this card is banned, actually.
This will never hold up in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh.
Sorry, give me your pot of greed, actually. No, but back in those days, like, especially with how the show made those cards out to be, like, it made it seem like you could, like, buy a house with those. Or
Yeah.
you could, like,
Oh,
you
yeah, I
could have a down payment on a slifer, you get a mansion.
Actually, those Pokemon cards, I still have them. Again, because I'm very like I don't like throwing things away. So I told my mom, look, you have to keep it. You can't throw this away. And apparently, some of those cards can like
Yeah, first
cost you
condition, though.
fortune.
first
Yeah.
That's the big one. They're very
first
big.
edition Charizard is worth like $450,000.
Yeah, I think that's the
Dollars,
only way
yeah.
I'm going to buy a house in Ireland.
Yeah. What do you know what ones you have? Because like 99% of them are completely worthless, and then like 1% of them are worth a shit ton of money. It's very unlikely if you have a random assortment of cards that you have the expensive ones, because like most of them are worth fuck all, and then there's like 3 cards that are worth nearly $1 million.
I think I had a Mewtwo or something.
Oh, that might be good. Yeah, that might be worth
in
something.
good condition because I had loads. Probably.
Do you remember how you got it, though? Because if it was from a pack, in a nutshell, if it's from a pack, if you got it from like a big box or something like that, then it's like, oh yeah, obviously you're gonna get Mewtwo. But if you found it like just randomly in a pack, those are the ones that are worth like big money.
There's a
Limited edition.
We used
like-
to have like a pack of 10, 15,
Yeah.
20. I think
Booster.
it was always in
booster packs.
booster packs. Yeah, it was always in those. It was interesting because I wasted a lot of my parents' money on that.
100%, yeah. Oh, 100%. I use those as like bargaining chips. Like my parents were like, I don't know if they were trying to like curry my favor. It's just kind of like, I don't know. I mean, my emotions are worth a lot.
Curry your favor?
Yeah, curry my favor. Curry my favor. I'm feeling a bit spicy here. I'm gonna need a blue eyes white dragon to sort this out.
That's none of your business.
Sorry, I'm trying to pancake their favor.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to poutine their favor.
Yeah, sorry, man. I didn't mean to racially integrate you there.
Yeah, no, you're just appropriating his culture. It's not okay.
I'm trying to, with his consent, curry some favor.
what were Indian parents like about playing those card games?
Yeah, well, they just wanted me to study, go out and play. But I'm like, it's lashing outside. I want to enjoy this. Even like, we used to, another series which inspired me was Beyblade, obviously.
Amazing.
Unbelievable, dude. Yeah.
Everything. And like, I still have those Beyblades. And, the OG guys, Tyson, Kai, Ray, and Max. So I used to have their Beyblade. So I remember my first Beyblade that I got was the original Dragoon.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and when we went out to the stores, it was like, I thought my dad thought it was like $100, which is like €1 or something,
Yeah.
today's equivalent. Turns out it was 300 rupees, which is around 3.5, 4 euros, which And my dad would just like for a silly talk.
What's the currency called?
Yeah, rupee.
Rupee.
Yeah. Yeah, or you.
What are you in the fucking Legend of Zelda? That's incredible. Rupee.
Yeah, it's the Indian rupee.
That's incredible. That's
did you
so
even know
much
it was
cooler
called
than
that,
fucking euro.
Or dollar.
Dollar.
Dollar sounds like depressing in nature, like rupee. You know?
Rupee.
You guys, I just got some rupees. You know? Meanwhile, you owe me $5,000.
Innkeep, I'd like a bet for the night. Here, 500 rupees. That's amazing.
And isn't it also like the it costs a lot of rupees though? It's one of those currencies where is that right? Where it's just like €1 here is like 100 rupees.
Oh yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
so for like I could take those tuk-tuks that we have like 3 cars. So I could like one of the fares for that was like I could travel for 5 kilometers in that just one guy, and that was nearly €1.
Not bad.
And that's like sort of a mode of luxury there.
Unreal.
If it's like us 3 going, that's divided by 3 then.
You know what, man? I'm thinking about taking a page out of your guys' book. I'm gonna fucking move over to your guys' country and just, I'm just gonna take it. Then we're gonna take over your. We're gonna swap.
We'll swap it
We're
over.
gonna
Bloody
swap.
fucking immigrants destroying your culture. Jesus
Come over here,
Christ.
just eating like eating steak and everything. Is that water buffalo?
Steak and potatoes.
Start making friends with Pakistan.
Yeah, take Trudeau with you guys as well. Yeah, that's guys are not so. Anyway, no political fights. Since I'm on a visa, but anyway, Beyblade, right? I remember I got my first Dragoon, and my dad bought it for me, and he's like, and I was like, oh, can I open this? And my dad was like, no, and I was like, what should I need to do? So I think it was 8 or 7, 8 or 9 probably, and we had to learn those multiplication tables.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to learn the tables from say 2 to 25.
Oh wow!
All the way out, and I think I was given a day, and my dad would ask me questions like, okay, what is 25 times 2 or 17 times 3?
And then you got a Beyblade.
Yeah, and I had to answer like until I got everything right. I couldn't open the book, and it happened like 3 iterations, and I had in the first chance I think I got 5 wrong, go back. The next chance I got
that's great parenting though. Fuck.
I got 1 wrong, which was like the second last one, and I was like, oh, I was so close. And the next I was like, you know what,
That's terrible parenting. What are you on about?
My dad did something similar. He gave me a Rubik's Cube, and he said, like, if you solve this, I'll get you like this 5-pack of Yu-Gi-Oh. And then similar to yourself, he gave me like a week to do it. On day 6, I asked my mom and just circumnavigated that whole issue.
Oh God!
I was like, what? That's
I thought you were going for. I thought you were going for a joke there when you said my dad did something similar. Then as she went to restart, I thought my dad did something really similar and also didn't love me. Or something like that, but you didn't go for the joke.
Very similar. He had sex with me. until I got the timetable right every day.
I have a funny thing about Beyblade because I watched the show pretty religiously when it was coming out, right?
Same.
And there was like a bit in the show when they were going on like this tournament and they went to Europe. I don't know if you remember this.
Yeah.
And there was like this European team of Beyblade guys.
Yeah.
And they were all like huge stereotypes. It was so
I remember. Was it the first
funny.
season, right?
I think so. There's a British guy who's got like a very British accent and he lives in a castle in Scotland. Like his house is just a castle. And everyone's like, yeah, checks out. Sure, why not?
Right.
Yeah, sure.
For kids in Japan, it's just like, oh yeah, everybody in Scotland has a castle.
There's
100%.
an Italian guy who was, the Beyblade.
Did he spin the Beyblade like a pizza dough?
Dude, you know how the thing that would always go is to go, let it rip. And then he'd be like, let it rip.
Oh, man. What was a French version of that? Oh, let it rip.
They had a French guy, so I don't remember what his deal was, but they had like every stereotype. They had a German guy as well.
Yeah. Even the bit beasts, right? They're also very stereotypical to the.
The German one's just Hitler. And like the monsters show up.
I summon you, Wolf Tank VK2.
Oh God! But who was your favorite among those 4? The OGs, Tyson.
Oh, Jesus.
Ray and.
I don't remember. Probably the Italian guy.
There was no Italian among those.
No.
Oh, from the team, okay.
Yeah, probably because he said let it rip and it made me laugh a lot. So probably him.
I for the TV show, I would just say the main guy because I don't remember it that well. But do you guys, when you guys were growing up, did you guys ever see the electronic Beyblades that your friend busted out of nowhere?
Oh, right.
I was so mad.
You mean like the illegal ones?
Yeah.
Fuck that shit, dude.
I was so mad because my friend brought that out, and number one, they're huge. So I was like, and I have my tiny little one that I spent so long constructing to make perfect. And on top of that, it did the stupid thing where like it technically kept spinning, but it was on its side, but it just do that. And I would just remember thinking like, dude, fuck you with this performance enhancing Beyblade. You know, it's like I don't know that he literally paid to win, and I was just like, fuck you.
I feel like you're getting a bit too niche into the Beyblade conversation now. No one's gonna be able to relate to this.
So the guy's talking about specific characters on the show.
Yeah, but
you guys remember episode 4?
everybody can relate to hating Italians. Everybody can relate to that.
I still hope he did like the piece. I hope
Shout
he
out
did that.
Alessio who set up our. I will set it up with the sound. You needed to buy it a better microphone.
You need a piece up the audio.
He listens to this podcast as well. He'll have a blast.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Does he love anime though?
Oh, I don't know. I just never asked him. He probably does.
I'm sure he has a few.
He's
that-
a
yeah.
music producer with loads of tattoos. I'd be surprised if he doesn't like at least Dragon Ball.
Yeah, well, fair enough.
Yeah.
Everybody got into Dragon Ball. But you know what? I just realized like was probably the first anime I ever watched was Yu Yu Hakusho.
I didn't ask you.
Oh,
Weirdly enough.
right. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
He's interested, so fuck you. No, but that was the first one. My friend showed me, and my mom is super Christian, and he's just got, look at this guy here. He's got this guy with a headband. He's super cool. He's got like a demon eye here, and I was like, hey mom, look at that. I'm just like look at this anime here. He's like, oh, she's like, who's that? I was like, oh, he's Demon Eye Joe or whatever the fuck.
Demon Eye Joe.
Demon
Eye Joe.
I don't know his name. And she
Joe.
freaked the fuck out because as soon as she heard demon, she's like, nope, no, all anime is just fucking evil and everything, which kind of like increased.
Demon Eye Joe.
Where did he come from?
Where did he go? Where did he come from? Demon Eye Joe.
Oh man, that is such a fucking banger. Alessio,
What?
get
No,
on
it's
that.
not.
Alessio.
Cotton Eye Joe, it's not a banger.
Demon Eye Joe.
Oh, Demon. Okay, maybe if we remix it.
No, yeah, that's what I mean. Alessio, you have the soundbite.
Yu Yu Hakusho is the same thing, right? Where he dies and like he's given a
Exactly,
life
yeah,
back
yeah.
for a while, and,
And then
he
he's
has to
supposed to be
fight
like a
those guys.
spirit detective type of thing.
Yeah. I think it was called Ghost Hunter or something in the English version. I think it has a. Or
I don't think I ever watched that.
Oh, it was interesting. I think
Yeah.
it had a great. I think there is a character in that in the English dub or Japanese dub. Him and Vegeta have the same VA.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fucking
Nice.
great voice actor.
Yeah, Vegeta's great.
I don't know if it's for the Japanese dub or the English dub, but it's definitely true. I think you can make the out the voices, and I was like, wow, this is interesting.
Yeah.
You know,
Before we nostalgia dive too much though, we do have a concept we need to follow.
okay,
We need to come up with our own anime.
okay.
We need to create and pitch an idea for an anime that we could take away after this podcast.
Ooh.
Have it out there. So the first thing we like to do when we do these things is to decide on a genre.
Okay.
Do we just go shonen?
Sort of shonen is fine. Yeah.
Shonen, bit of hentai.
Shonen would be the easiest
Demon
because
Eye Joe.
shonen would be the easiest because writing a shonen is very easy.
Actually,
There's not much going on there.
in preparation for this, I actually saw this one video on like the philosophy behind anime, and
Yeah.
apparently a lot of it derives from this thing called like, you know how like a lot of the shonen ones are like teenagers who go to a state-sponsored like hero association to fight
Right.
the evils.
Yeah.
Apparently that derives from this thing called IRE, which is like their in Japan pre-World War II. That was like their pledge of allegiance that like I as a teenager will do everything I can to fight for the state. So a lot of like anime from that, like
Wow.
you like Hunter x Hunter, My Hero Academia, like all these ones where the teenagers are a hero fighting big bad.
Seems a bit like a stretch.
No. Well, bro, I have a very reputable 20-minute video.
I don't know if I would say
It was
Hunt-
interesting, like to get into the history and be like, oh yeah, that's why they're always. Like,
I don't know.
teenage
I don't know if
heroes.
Hunter x Hunter is pro-military
Oh, no,
draft.
but the
that
archetype-
seems a bit like a stretch.
No, but that's where Hunter x Hunter deviates though, because like the archetype is that these kids go for a hunter or a
Yeah.
association, but then the genus Hunter x Hunters that subverts that. Oh yeah, they're also criminals. They don't
Yeah.
give a fuck.
Oh, that's a
Like,
great.
the archetype.
We've all watched Hunter x Hunter now, haven't we?
Yeah.
That's a great anime,
Did you finish the
dude.
anime?
No, I'm halfway through there. I mean, I've finished the Chimera Ant arc and half of the election arc, but Chimera Ant arc, that was the best. I'd say.
Yeah, that's a fantastic one. That's what it does. It subverses everything. Every like shonen stereotype just gets flipped on his head, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, and
Whoa.
especially like I didn't expect you always expect the protagonist to find the main antagonist.
Yeah.
Here it's completely like Meruem is sort of like such a well-defined villain. I felt, and in the end you kind of feel him being a bit of a human, and Netero when he's
Yeah.
He's a bit of an ant. He
Yeah.
sacrifices himself for the colony.
I love
so to
it.
speak.
Yeah.
It never just does. That's why I like it so much because it basically single-handedly got me back into shonen. I was done with shonen.
Yeah.
And then I watched Hunter x Hunter. And I was like, okay, there's still some fucking fuel left in the tank. Like,
And they made Hisoka, who is a pedophile.
Yeah,
So likable. I have never been so on board. Yeah, there's literally scenes when just like, oh, God and Killer are right there. He's bare naked. He's just like, well, should we do something about that? Like, no, don't worry about it. Just carry on.
I don't know. It's just clever. It just takes all the stereotypes and cliches and like flips them and makes you go, whoa.
Yeah, maybe not. They're not. Maybe all pedophiles aren't so bad. There's a few good eggs out there.
But literally, like Hunter x Hunter, there'd be like a big fucking villain that they build up for 3 episodes, and then he gets back problems, and gets put into hospital, and they never find him. Like that's literally how the show works. It's so good.
Or like the Phantom Troop, where they're just like they buff them up as to be like super villain guys, but they're just broing down.
Yeah,
they're
they're
just like hanging out. They're like playing cards and stuff like that.
They're
like,
just
taking
buddies.
bets.
Yeah.
And it's just like fuck. I actually want to hang out with those guys. They sound way cooler than everyone else in this show. Everyone else is like so uptight and shit.
Oh yeah. Oh, and no, let's not get too deep into Hunter. But that's a shonen. That's good. So are we doing a shonen? We could also do an isekai. You know what an isekai is?
No.
You never heard of isekai? You definitely watched the isekai before. Isekai is like where a main character gets thrown into a different world, and he suddenly has like he's like the chosen one. He's like superpowers. Like Sword Art Online.
I heard of it. I know of it.
Yeah, Sword Art Online would be a very famous example. Dot hack, I think, is that what it's called? There's like all these ones where they get put into video games, onto online games, stuff like that.
Okay, I like it. That's modern. I like it. Fresh take.
There's not only no game, no life.
Oh, okay.
That's another isekai.
Oh, I thought that was just you describing your life.
No. It's when they get thrown into a fantasy world or some sort of world and suddenly they're like the chosen one. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's what an isekai is. And there's reverse isekais where like a fantasy element comes into the normal world, which that's also a genre.
Have you seen Solo Leveling? It's like
Solo leveling.
Yeah, it's like a Korean kind of a thing.
But I did play World of Warcraft. I did a lot of solo leveling there.
Yeah, it's sort of similar to that way, but I know like I came up with it recently across. So manga is usually Japanese. They call this as manhwa.
Oh yeah, I have heard about this
And that's
manhwa.
Korean,
Yeah.
and it was I think I saw the first season. It's only 8 episodes. And even in that case, but it's sort of a crossover between this. So like the shonen protagonist, he has no power or anything. And then he finds out something is kind of in this world where everybody's kind of like aliens have it's not aliens, but like something has happened and they're kind of finding these portals open essentially to alien dimensions, and they get gems and stuff from there, and that's how their trade happens. So they are also essentially quote unquote sort of hunters, if I remember the term correctly. I can't remember, but it's very similar. Like, you know, the guy goes into this and he comes up, you know, that meme where there's people are bending towards a god, it's blue in color. That's from Solo Leveling.
No.
And the god is laughing. You know how this is. So for example, the god sitting on the seat says Dragon Ball Z, and it's like smaller.
Oh, yeah. I have seen that.
Meme.
Yeah.
So that's from Solo Leveling.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's from Solo Leveling. It's one of the first
And
episodes.
do they get transported into like this world?
Yeah.
That's an isekai. So
Yeah.
that's what that means. Well, we probably should, if we want to make it easier. What's your favorite anime of all time? Or manga?
I'd say it's a tie currently. There's a lot more, I'd say. But if I were to say very inspirational ones, I'd say obviously Dragon Ball Z. I'm saying overall.
Yeah.
And currently it's tied with sort of Demon Slayer as well.
Okay. Yeah.
But Demon Slayer is good. It's nothing out of the blue in that. But
I hear it's like all about the animation. Like I've seen the first episode, and to be fair, it is gorgeous.
Yeah, it takes time to build up, but I think the way they have built the characters as well, some of them, how you feel like kind of you love them as well, and music, which is why I kind of like watching. I'm a bit like, might be controversial, but I like watching anime more than reading a manga because it has.
I think that's the more popular way to do it.
Because
I think reading manga is probably more controversial.
Because you see, you can feel the feelings when the voiceover artist is like delivering the dialogue and there's music, and just that takes a scene to like fucking another level.
They also cover a lot more ground, where it's just like, you know, one episode you can cover for like 5 manga, whereas like you're going week by week by week. So there's a bit of that as well.
Yeah, so I think Demon Slayer, because there's a character in this called Rengoku, and he's like one of the characters which I felt like he was such a well-written character, right? That in a span of 35 minutes, you kind of get to know him because it came as a movie. You get to know him, you fall in love with him, and well, spoiler alert. You may not see him again, essentially, and you lose him.
It turns invisible.
Yeah, you might want to watch it then.
It's invisible.
Where'd he go?
But he's such an inspirational
I
character,
gotcha.
and that's kind of, I was like, oh, this is nice.
Demon Slayer. We'll stick with that's your favorite.
Yeah,
Yeah,
kind
because
of.
I feel like Dragon Ball Z is like,
That's your favorite.
No, I feel like that's pretty like that's
Mainstream also, I'd say.
I feel like Dragon Ball Z is like that's all right.
That's your favorite.
I'm not. I don't even want to say that because that's too easy.
Well, you said it
No,
3
okay.
times by now.
One Piece.
One Piece is your
One
favorite.
Piece. Yeah.
Good choice. Good choice. Like, okay. One Piece. One Piece. One Piece.
One piece, 4 pieces, 3 pieces in a soda. Carry on.
What's my favorite anime? Probably Berserk.
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
Berserk, obviously.
Berserk's probably obviously the
That's
manga.
Manga, though, 'cause
Yeah.
Anime. Is,
Yeah, the manga.
yeah.
It's my favorite.
Well, they're
I'm gonna
actually
count the
making a
manga.
fan-made version. I just came across a video on YouTube. I think there is Eclipse Studios, probably.
Yeah.
They are kind of
Ooh.
reanimating it. Yeah, I'll send
Cool.
you a link. I just
Relevant.
saw it yesterday.
Oh, I'll watch it. I mean, Berserk is to me like one of the best stories ever written. Not even just manga anime. So
Yeah.
that's probably up there. Yeah.
And that's probably the one of the very few what do you say anime I read the manga of, because I was just so
Yeah.
intrigued by that
Unbelievable.
character.
I read that whole manga in like fucking 2 weeks, non-stop. I couldn't put it down. Unbelievable. That-
Who's your favorite sort of inspirational character, or like favorite character across the board? Like
Oh,
two or
see,
three.
I wouldn't
Great
really,
question.
I wouldn't really say inspirational because I like the dickheads.
Okay.
even still, that's still kind of like which character had the biggest impact on you?
And
Yeah,
I don't love, but I okay, I do. I love Griffith. I think he's like the best villain of all manga ever, dude.
Nice,
And
yeah.
Griffith is like unbelievably written character, just pure ambition taking him to the darkest place.
Yeah.
Purely that belief that he's better than everybody and he deserves to be above everybody, and it's just turned him into the biggest asshole in the world. I think it's such a brilliant like centerpiece for a villain.
Nice.
He's like Homelander, really, if you think about it. Him and Homelander are kind of the same character, yeah.
but he's way more put together.
Yeah, he's like way more capable, but it's that same thought of like I'm better than everybody and I deserve to treat everybody like shit because I'm better,
Yeah, I'm going towards this goal.
Yeah.
Damn everything else, which is pretty ironic because his goal isn't it to be like to own a castle,
Yeah.
but in pursuit of that castle, he's going to destroy the whole world.
Well-
which begs the question: like, is a castle worth it? If
It's
the
not
world is
necessarily just a
destroyed?
castle. He just believes that he deserves to rule over people. He believes that he's better and that he deserves to rule and that he deserves to be the king of people. That's
He's
what
only
he
loyal
believes.
to one thing, and that's his goal.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it.
That's it.
He's also a very well written villain.
Yeah, extremely
I'd say,
well written.
Because
Extremely well written.
like when you hate that character, I mean, and then you suddenly are like, yeah, well, like and the way he starts, I thought that I hated him anyway.
Of course, yeah, he's supposed to hate him. That's why he works,
But
you know.
yeah, that's what the hatred is so strong there, and you're like, yeah, so he's like sort of a very.
You ever see that one YouTube video? Griffith did nothing
nothing
wrong.
wrong.
Griffith, yeah,
one of
that's
those
a big meme.
controversial-
That's a big meme. Griffith
Yeah.
did nothing wrong. Yeah,
One of those
yeah. So
controversial
funny.
videos ever. It's like, I'm sorry, what?
And then Rickard probably. Rickard is probably my second favorite character. You remember Rickard?
Oh yeah.
He's the guy when the eclipse happens. He's the one of the band of the Hawk who like doesn't get sucked in. Who's gone. He's like getting firewood in the woods while they all get sucked in.
yeah.
Oh, there.
Yeah, and then he comes back. He's like, "What the fuck?"
Where'd everybody go?
And he's the guy in like one of the last year, one of the chapters. Griffith actually tracked him down to put him as part of his army because he was like, "Oh, I remember you. I miss you. I'm so happy to see you again." And Rickard just fucking slaps him across the face in front of all his bodyguards, like immediately. It's so fucking cool, dude.
Jesus,
There's
yeah.
like all ththese powerful demons behind him guarding him, and Rickard just the second he sees him, just give him a fucking smack. It's so good.
100%, man.
And Griffith doesn't do anything. He bitches out. It's like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
fair
that
enough.
makes sense,
yeah.
you know?
I guess I did sacrifice all of our friends, so fair
Yeah,
enough.
yeah. Nothing wrong, yeah.
I killed all your friends. You gave me a smack. We're gonna call it even. We're gonna call it square.
It's just not even kill. Like I mean, what he did to Casca as well.
Yeah.
He was very wrong.
Yeah. Very wrong.
Case in point, I don't mean to be controversial here, but I think that was a bad move.
Yeah,
I just
it's
tried
pretty
to
wrong.
really ease into it,
He's into Jesus Christ, man.
Oh, the wrong
So
choice
you
of
should have
words.
gone slower, but according to Mana.
Yeah.
Did you know that Indian men have the highest
Yeah, now we're seeing it through. Did you guys lose at cricket last night? Casca, get over here.
So that's a seinen. That's the genre Berserkers.
Seinen,
Yeah,
yeah,
seinen.
seinen,
That's
yeah.
like shonen, more mature shonen.
Yeah.
All right, so we have to pick a genre because we have to come up with an anime and we have made zero progress. So we have to
Okay.
pick a genre. Shonen, seinen, isekai, romance, comedy.
I think to some degree we need to figure
Slice
out
of life.
I think we need to figure out a bit more a concept of the anime we want to come up with, and then
Yeah.
figure out which category that fits in. You know what I mean? Like as
Well,
opposed-
maybe pick the genre first, and we can. It makes
I
more
think
sense.
shonen is probably the easiest.
Yeah, let's go shonen.
no. Sorry, guys. I'm just my inner critic came out a bit there.
Just go back to Canada. Go back to where you came from.
I'll
What if we
stay with your
made-
family.
Yeah, my family is there.
What if we made a shonen about Donald Trump?
I had a loose idea because we were talking about our different countries.
Oh, hey, that's
What
my
if-
Trump idea thrown away.
No, there's Trump can work into this, but like, what if there's some sort of thing where like every country had their own sort of champion and they all?
Oh yeah, that
know what I mean?
that already exists.
What is that?
Girls on Panzer. You ever watch that?
No.
Have you ever heard about that? Big recommendation. It's a show. It starts. It's this like high school anime with all these young high school girls making friends and struggling on their first day of school. And then the second they go to the first class, it gets revealed that they're getting trained to drive fucking tanks, like warfare tanks, and they're
nice.
getting trained to enter a tournament on the side of Japan where they like do. Tank siege warfare, but representatives from every other country. And there's like a little group of
Fuck's sake.
Nazi girls, there's a little group of French girls, a little group of American girls.
Jesus Christ, that sounds great.
And they just starts like operating tanks and killing each other on the battlefield. It's so good, dude. It's unbelievably funny.
Jesus, man.
But that's pretty much it. They have this whole representative feeling where like every team is like a big stereotype. Like the Germans are like proper Nazis, and they drive like World War II accurate Nazi tanks around.
Nice.
The American girls are all like, hell yeah, brother. Well, I think the leader of the American girls just has like a mustache for some reason.
I was thinking more like it'd be a bit more singular, so as opposed to like like a game between or like a
I think that-
competition. I was thinking like what if Canada had like a Gungan champion, like a huge mecha thing that was commanded by Trudeau.
I
or
don't know
something
what
like
the other ones could, but I'm pretty sure that exists as well. Where there's another anime that's I think it's like a
that. Really, I am so smart.
I think it's
Wow,
like
I
a
didn't even hear about these anime. I'm coming up.
I think I don't remember the name, but I think this one is like a slice of life one, and they have a character literally called Germany, and a character called Canada, and a character called United States.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right, we'll scrap that idea then. All right. It sounds like that's been like well trodden on. So
No, I like you thinking, but what you're forgetting is that the Japanese are really obsessed with war history. So obviously all of this has been done already.
all right. So how can we subvert that though? Then maybe.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, let's do a Hunter x Hunter type of thing, like subvert the expectations. So maybe like a basic premise,
Yeah.
but then we undercut that. You know,
So how about a world
where Pakistan.
in a world?
I don't know.
Oh.
Carries on. Jesus Christ.
In a world where cricket has become the main sport. Do cricket anime?
I like the idea of cricket anime.
Yeah, do cricket anime?
But I don't think the world will get into it because like the best form of cricket is the test cricket is like 5 days long and stuff. Like we have lunch and tea between the games.
We'll just make it really intense.
Even better.
While they're drinking, it's like Death Note while they're drinking tea. Yeah, they're just seeing
The strategy is going on like how the L thinks. But you know what I was thinking? Instead of that, right?
Wait. Before we what strategy? Make up a bit of dialogue. What could he say?
Like how L goes like, oh, he's playing on the back foot now for a while, which means he's susceptible to bouncers. So I'm just going to probably, keep on bouncing him all the time. So he's going to play edge it to fine leg. Fine leg is like position, by the way. It's
I had no idea what you were saying, but it sounded sick. Bro, we're on. We got the music sorted out anyway.
Would Kira put milk in his tea?
Will he find out that that's not a buffalo burger? He has no idea. It's an actual Big Mac.
I think cricket is anime is a pretty good idea. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, potentially. But you know what I was thinking? You could have like
They're actually crickets. Cricket.
No, that's like the cricket is like the biggest sport on earth, and then an alien team of alien crickets comes down.
Oh, you guys
and they're
talking
like,
shit.
You guys fucking playing cricket?
Guess who's in the audience? crickets, so it just sounds like it's the worst game ever. Just,
That's like my last week's open mic set, to be honest.
just a bunch of crickets. Oh, my favorite sport. Yeah, that's a good line. Actually, a bunch of crickets, my favorite sport.
But no, we can have like, I've not seen an Indian representation in an anime for a long time.
I don't think you guys exist to Japan.
Yeah, which is surprising because there's like 1.5 billion, and there's a huge fan base of anime in India.
Yeah, but Japan has like a few countries they're obsessed with, and it's like America, Germany, themselves, and sometimes France. But like no other country exists to Japan. Like you also
Pretty white, yeah.
you also I know it's really white. You'll never like see like a Saudi Arabian anime, like an anime set in Saudi Arabia, because they just love white people. They don't know what it is.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, they haven't done much on the Asian subcontinent as such. It's always Japan, or they just jump directly to America.
Yeah, America or Europe.
Europe is also like Germany's like predominantly Germany has played a huge, like obviously Monster.
Yeah.
Just set in Germany.
Oh yeah, Monster. That's probably my second favorite anime, to be honest. Yeah.
I think I saw the anime recently called Freerun. It's like a Lord of the Rings sort of meets like the old elf genre and stuff, but it's like takes the Cowboy Bebop kind of storyline where like
German culture is huge in Japan, dude.
Oh really?
Yeah, huge. Just a fucking Attack on Titan.
Yeah, that's based on
Attack on Titan as well.
That's all just
Wir sind das Essen, sie sind die Jäger. You know.
Aaron Yeager, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
And Jaeger means hunter, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I do like how in that anime it's a bit self-serving, where it's like everybody's German except for the fucking most badass people. They're Japanese. Like, where it's just like,
Yeah, but that
and Levi, like, they look differently because they're supposed to be Japanese.
Yeah,
but the Japanese
right,
are,
yeah.
like,
it comes from the cultural connection, because during World War II, there was a
Oi.
huge propaganda effort in Japan to connect Japan and Germany culturally. Like a huge propaganda
because they
effort.
were Axis,
Yeah, and they were like the only allies who like stuck together. You know, like Italy, Germany fell out. Formerly best friends,
Right.
and now best friends
You
with
ever seen
Japan.
Jojo Rabbit?
No, I should watch that.
There's a
though.
good line in there where it's like the kids are like, it's at the end of World War II, and these kids are like walking down the streets, and like their town is getting invaded by the Allies, and the kid is just nonchalantly being like, yeah, it looks like Italy's out of the war, so now all we have is Japanese people as our allies, and between you and me, they don't look very Aryan. Just nonchalantly, and it was just like, all right, that's fucking great, yeah.
Van Helsing, that's another anime that's heavily German influenced.
Nice, yeah.
Their cultures are very connected. So maybe that's how we flip on. We have an Indian representation anime. I'm down with that.
You know what? I was thinking we could have an anime where you have an Indian representation, a character, a German character, and a Canadian guy. Their paths cross, and then they take a journey.
And they record a podcast.
Oh, right.
I don't know if that would be very entertaining.
That'd be pretty meta. I
Yeah.
like the idea. Well, how about this though? What if like the Indian character is in a German environment or something, or a Japanese environment? You know, where it's like he's the odd duck, but like through that, like his different sort of shines and everything. You know,
Is there like any interesting Indian mythology that you could turn into a shonen?
they don't have any history.
Oh, God. We have like
kidding,
1.5 billion
I'm
gods. Like,
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
we have one for each person in the country. So I'd say, yeah, I think there's a lot of interesting characters.
Because maybe you could do like an isekai type thing where an Indian guy gets thrown into like a fantasy world with loads of
That's
Indian
basically me being
mythology.
in Cork, to be honest. It's a bit of a dystopian.
Yeah. Surrounded by leprechauns. Yeah.
I think you could do that. But I think that's sort of going the monster genre again, where he's sort of the only Japanese.
Oh,
Yeah.
How about this though? This is a weird idea there, but what if like each god activates a certain power or something like that, but he doesn't know his history, so he's in this environment, but the more he learns about certain gods, he gains their power.
What the
Like that.
fuck
So
are you
you
talking
You
about?
gradually build up a catalog of
Potentially,
powers.
yeah.
you
So
know?
this is a shonen now.
more or less, yeah.
More or less, yeah.
Oh, sorry, did we say it was a seinen or?
So we were just talking about an Indian guy who's thrown out of his natural habitat, and suddenly you're like, what if he got really sick powers? Like, is he fighting people now?
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking of
I'm very lost.
as well. Because
But I like that premise as well, because if he has to discover these gods to gain the powers, like inadvertently he'd be teaching the audience about
He has to
the gods'
reconnect.
culture and everything.
He has to reconnect with his spiritual. Yeah, but
Yes, he starts off a clean slate, doesn't know what he
Yeah.
is.
bit like Jujutsu Kaisen.
sort of.
Yeah.
Because I want to go for like a good representation as well, because like, obviously the Apu, the thing, and all that has done, and I'm like, I want to have good representation of like India as well, which is like I don't want to.
That's
be the
it.
negative
We'll have an anime.
XXX. No, RRR. Sorry. I don't know.
Oh yeah. I
don't know.
What's that?
I don't know. I meant totally different anime. Totally different. But RRR, I thought that was a really fucking cool
Yeah, and
piece of
that was actually very popular in China.
What is that? What is
It's an Indian movie. I haven't seen it, to be honest. But that movie won an Oscar for one of its musical scores.
Nice.
And it's like
very cool.
It's kind of like a Indian superhero movie to a degree.
Yeah.
Where one of them is like because I've seen it a couple times. I think it's really good. But it's like there's this one Indian guy that's basically he's a police working for the British at the time, and he's like a demigod. He can like run super fast, super strong. And then meanwhile, there's this guy that like wrangles tigers, and he's like a natural sort of demigod as well.
Right.
And this is the best part of the whole movie, I think, is when they first meet, because the one guy's on a bridge and he sees someone dangling, and they just make eye contact from a mile away, and they just know, got you, bro. So he just does this thing like you. And then and then they just get like these cables, they tear apart the bridge and like save this person, and they're just like best friends. They never spoke until they just saw each other from a mile away. And it was just I don't know, I just thought it was like, oh, this is like Indian Marvel to a degree.
Sort of.
A little bit, yeah, where it's just like these your guys are super.
So what you're saying is we'll do an anime about an Indian guy who runs a corner shop.
Yeah.
And say thank you, come again every time. And it's back into Simpsons.
And his big villain for the first arc is dogs in his shop.
No, it's the tax. It's the tax and revenue man.
Dogs in his shop. African Americans in hoods. Oh no, that's the final boss. That's the final boss.
I like the premise. So you're thrown into a habitat, and you could always say there is a evil villain he has to defeat. Like again, the isekai sort of format, and as like just to get
He's
out.
Pakistani.
Oh yeah. But yeah, you could do that, and then the way he kind of derives the inspiration is like from the different like mythologies and the characters that we have in our culture and stuff.
Oh, and then he could fight other people who have powers from other mythologies.
Yeah,
He could fight like an Irish guy who gets powers from Irish mythology.
a Nordic
or like
guy who has like the powers of Thor.
the Vikings.
Yeah.
And then a Christian guy who's fucking socks.
Yeah, he turns water to wine.
Terrible, yeah. Wow, well done. Oh, you can walk on water. Very nice.
Just walks away from the back. I'm like, damn it, I can't swim. Fuck.
Sipping wine like this.
Come on, God, a little pillar of fire here, please.
Oh no, you get Samson. You get long hair like this and just fucking bulk up if you want.
Yeah, dude, was it King Solomon who like ripped down a wall with his bare hands? There's some pretty badass motherfuckers.
That's David in the Walls of Jericho.
Yeah, there you go. David, he ripped down a wall with his bare hands.
I like this. Yeah, so I think the first season is all about him getting a base of this, but then it can explode into like other cultures and like he has to go toe to toe. So what environment is this though? Is it like is it current day? Is it medieval times? Is it like completely different world?
A medieval sort of makes sense then, I'd say.
Medieval times, yeah, medieval times. Or maybe even current, and everybody has forgotten about spirituality.
Yeah,
everybody is like atheist now, so he's the only guy who looks into it. Yeah,
I genuinely really like that, where it's like you have to reconnect with spirituality and your culture by extension.
Yeah,
and
we're making
from that.
We're making religious propaganda now. I like it. It's good.
The Christian guy is just so fucking like Trump supporter.
Dude, the Muslim guy would fuck people up though.
Yeah, once.
I don't know, dude. Allah does some pretty powerful shit. Like he turns people into salt.
No comments. I'm on a visa. And
Why you can talk about Islam.
I don't know.
I'm not saying anything bad. I just fucking their God is a badass.
Okay.
He like fucking turns a woman into salt for being a whore. It's great.
Wow. So his big rival would be women's rights.
He just turns people into salt, dude. He'd fuck people up.
That doesn't sound super menacing. I mean,
yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, that's bad. That'd be a tough spot.
What are you gonna do if you turn into salt? You don't need to do anything.
I'd be really salty about it.
We need a reason for them to fight each other though, because we can't just have a tournament. Otherwise, it's just record of Ragnarok. Then
yeah. So what's the inciting incident that kind of?
Maybe that's how we can be subversive. Maybe there is no reason they fight. They just kind of run into each other randomly and start throwing hands. Like what the fuck's the one called? that Baki where like everyone's really huge and they
Yeah,
just
that's
every
it.
time they run into another huge guy, they just start throwing
Yeah,
hands.
that's it. I just see that guy. I fucking love that. You're just like, I have to fight you. Why? I just have to do
Yeah.
it. It's like, no, you don't.
It could be something like that where they just start immediately throwing hands.
That's like Highlander or some shit like
Yeah.
that, where it's just like they're drawn together. There can only be one.
But because they're all like different religions, mythologies, they probably would have a natural reason to just fucking start fighting because they're like, I'm right. No, I'm right.
At least see the Mormons.
The Mormons. You could have witchcraft. You could have a Satanist. You could have you have a lot, dude. You could have a lot of cool shit.
Scientologist.
Atlantis, Scientologist.
Atlanta.
Atlantis, not Atlanta. Atlanta.
Really good at hip hop.
Pop, pop, pop.
Really good at hip hop dropping beats and
It just
everything.
fucking shoots him in the head.
I would love to see that crossover. Atlantis.
We could have that's actually a good idea. I like the mythologies.
Yeah, but see, what I was thinking was, again, we could go through medieval times, and you know how you could take the path of the journey as well, you know?
Yeah.
How he kind of travels through different, like the cowboy bebop genre. So he starts, again, there is a bad guy, which we'll make up at the end. And also, like, you know, you can have a philosophical take on it as well, because obviously there is also a bit of huge philosophies in the different cultures as well.
I have our bad guy. I have our villain. So you know how he said that nobody is connected with spirituality anymore, and he's the only guy connected. The bad guy could be like this like dictator sort of figure who's like the guy suppressing spirituality. But really, it turns out at the end that he just believes in nihilism. That's where his power comes from.
Ooh, so he
He's
does
a nihilist.
believe.
So
Yeah.
he says life is meaningless.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is why he's a dictator. Your life is meaningless.
And he has like sick void powers. He's like Blackbeard in One Piece.
Oh, I like
yeah, he's got six void
yeah,
powers. Yeah, and that'd be a
Ooh.
cool twist because he's like suppressing belief, and then he's like, "I believe in nothing."
I believe in salt. Checkmate.
We need to give him like a sidekick or something though, because in anime they always have multiple people.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, that could also be one thing. Or you could have like, I was thinking like how, you know, this guy in Death Note. You have seen Death Note, I
Oh,
presume.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, he has that guy Ryuk with him all the time, like
Yeah, yeah.
Shinigami.
Yeah.
But in this case, you put a positive twist on it, and you have like he's sort of a mentor with him.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't fight for him. He just guides him essentially.
Gandhi.
He
did you-
believes in non-violence. So whole fight is meaningless, like, you know.
Well, did you say that everybody has their own god?
I mean,
No, they believe in mythology. They can pull from all mythology.
No,
they don't
I'm
just
saying-
have one Pokemon like.
No, I'm saying in Indian culture though, everybody has their own god.
I think that was a
well,
joke.
Essentially, it's like a whole tree. So you have like, it starts from the creator, the mediator, and
Yeah,
the
but I
destroyer,
think when
and
you
then it
said
kind of branches it down.
when you said there's a god for every person, I think that was a joke. No.
Sort of.
Yeah,
I
there
mean,
isn't
there's-
a billion.
There's a million
don't know.
gods, but
Yeah,
like
I
they're-
think that was a joke,
I
James.
didn't know.
in a way they are like.
Excuse me,
You
I
look very insensitive right now.
Excuse me, I think his religion is not a joke. Unlike this guy. Excuse me, I'm over here respecting you. Man, I don't know what this guy's deal is.
I get to be born again.
Can we have like a Zionist character?
Zionist.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's trying to take over Israel or something.
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. So
We make him look like the Orthodox Jews with the with the hair,
Okay, that's getting interesting.
and he can tunnel underground.
yeah.
Fuck.
You are summoned to court.
He can tunnel underground. He comes out of the ground.
He increases your interest rate on your bank account.
Now you're being anti-Semitic. I was skirting around it. You just dove in.
Like the tunnel. No, I like that. Yeah, we can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
On this, but regarding like the guide that gets him through it type of thing.
Yeah, so he's just like guiding. I don't know if you have like who. You always have like a Piccolo to a Gohan sort of a thing, and then
A mentor, yeah.
a mentor sort of, but he doesn't get into, so because there is a god we have called Krishna, so he's
Buddha.
Buddha is well.
That's
he
different
was
religion.
a Hindu, but it's a different religion again.
Fuck.
It's Buddhism, yeah.
Do you have someone similar in Hinduism?
Will that be like Krishna?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Krishna.
So, yeah. So his kind of philosophy is like,
Is that a guy or like a deity? I'm not informed about this at all.
look with you.
You know, I thought there was a god for every single Indian on this goddamn motherfucking planet.
There might be.
No, there is not.
There's a God within
well,
everybody.
so
except
he's
you.
like a variation of the OGs, like, which we have the creator, the mediator, and the destroyer.
Yeah.
So he's like a derivative of the mediator whose name is Vishnu. So he's like a. And
I
there's
have
whole
heard
kind
about
of
that,
like
yeah.
like a saga around it called Mahabharata and stuff. But that's a whole myth and story, whatever, right? But he's kind of essentially the guy who kind of guides one of the okay, how do I kind of put it very simply? So essentially, there is a team of 5 up against a team of 100, and they kind of beat them. And the guy who's kind of with the 5 is like this god. He doesn't really get into the fight himself, but he kind of guides them. And he's like, there's obviously some philosophical outtakes with it as well. So what I was aiming for, like this guy, the protagonist starts his journey through the mentor in this world fighting the evil villain. But then every episode has some sort of a philosophical outtake, and then he could go through different regions which are also inspired by different countries as well. And that's another philosophical outtake.
I like it.
It's like an amalgamation of every favorite anime that I have, and just throw it into one thing and make a curry out of it, essentially.
There we go.
There is Vinland Saga, there is Demon Slayer, there is Berserk.
I keep bringing it back to curry. I like it.
Oh yeah, I know. That's the best, right? So
Yeah, I think I'm gonna name this episode "Dan and James Try Curry."
That's a great animated curry with.
I do think
I
though.
would say Dan and James get an Indian, so technically.
Very strong.
Get some Indian.
I do think though. I do think we need to have a bit of structure, if you know what I mean. I think there needs to be like we have a main villain now, but I think we need to have like an overarching conflict. So like I really like the idea of like spirituality being suppressed. I think that's good, but it needs to be an overarching conflict. It needs to be something that drives the main character to keep going forward in the story.
Well, I was thinking just something that would kind of like tonally, kind of subtly get it going. What if, kind of going back to a joke we made earlier there, but what if like that nihilistic god, he kind of creates a very basic, he's trying to make everybody like even and just like all that. So people who are like Indian or very embody a certain culture, they stand out, which inherently makes them feel a bit different. So they either try to blend in or they lean into what makes
What
them
if
unique.
the main character is a Indian Hindu, but the his sidekick, his best friend, is a Pakistani Muslim?
I don't think it'll go very well.
Well, we could
that'd be a
end.
great bottle episode.
We could end decades of bloody feud with one good
They just
anime.
hug it out.
Yeah, I know.
No, they become best. They're like Vegeta and Goku.
No,
They're like Vegeta and Goku. They fight in the first episode and then they become friends later.
I bet there's got to be an episode where like they're chained together. Or like a whole arc where they're chained together. We better figure out how to do this then,
Yeah, it's like Vegeta and Goku. I think we need like a Vegeta Goku relationship here.
100%.
With the Indian and the Pakistani guy, they like fight in the first episode. And just to appease you, the fucking Indian guy beats the shit out of him. And then man is like, I like it so far.
Go on.
But eventually they have to work together to overcome this bigger threat. Nihilistic threat, and they become friends.
Yeah, either it's going to solve the peace or just get this cancelled or me cancelled. I won't be able to go back to my country.
Peace is very controversial in India.
Yeah. Oh, I think this is a great idea. Then he can turn people into salt because he's Muslim, and I don't know. The Hindu guy can grow 6 arms. I don't know.
He's making a curry. He's like, it's missing something. Oh, perfect. That's just what I needed.
Oh God. Just adding salt.
Oh God, this is fun. All right, so we got a basic premise, we got an arc, we got some other characters there.
We got Vegeta, yeah. I know you vetoed it, but the Pakistani Vegeta is staying in.
Okay. This might sound ignorant, but against Boo, Vegeta kind of just goes into
Evil mode.
the self-destruct mode I was going on.
Yeah. Or a Pakistani character joins like Al Qaeda or something.
Why does he have to be the one to blow himself up?
Well, that's where Osama was found anyway.
Fair enough. That's a
borderline racist. Now just edit this out. Okay?
No, this is Ken editor. You don't understand how this works. It's all
Vegeta is
staying.
Muslim, confirmed.
So we have our like Vegeta character, we have a villain, we have a main character, we have an overall story that's trying to keep spirituality alive. He's traveling the region. He fights like a Greek mythology guy. He fights like a Viking guy. He fights like an Irish mythology guy. He fights all these guys, all these dudes, all these guys fighting them. Maybe there's a Chinese mythology guy. There's a Japanese mythology guy. Just to get back at the Japanese mythology guy, he sucks.
Let's not make them fight them. No, let's just say they're a part of his journey where he has to go there, prove himself.
But you need a bit of fighting.
Yeah. So he essentially
Shonen.
goes there.
I like how it's not based on fighting though. It can be like different types of proving yourself.
No, essentially he goes there and he has to fight them in a way to prove something, to get something from there.
Oh.
And essentially he gets something which helps him fight this evil villain.
I get you.
What I mean?
I
so
get
the fight
you.
is always there as well, but it's
Like
in
the
a good
second,
way,
like the
kind of,
second season of Pokemon.
Yeah, well,
just like that. Just like that.
gotta catch them all.
No, in the second, the first one's like gym badges, and he fights all the gym leaders. In the second one, they tried to be creative, so he goes to the gym, and the gym leader's like, "If you help me water my flowers, you'll get my badge."
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it'll be like that. He has like sometimes he has to fight them. Sometimes he has like a bit of a ideological conflict. Sometimes they have a good debate, and then he gets the gym badge. Well, not gym badge, but you know what I mean.
I kind of like that. Maybe all these
Yeah.
competitions, like we can kind of like take inspiration from our other favorite animes. Like, what if there's like a Death Note? Like,
I thought you meant
this sort of thing.
I thought you meant from mythology. That's where you're going, but no, we'll take inspiration from other animes.
Episode to episode, like it's like a thematic sort of thing where it's like a Death Note sort of like scenario where he has to figure out who did
Yeah.
it basically type of thing.
But okay, then there's something we need to decide on is if he has to solve these challenges, right? There has to be something he gains that allows him access to the final goal. Because the ultimate goal is defeating the nihilistic villain.
Yeah.
So he has to gain, like in Pokemon, the badge is a great example. The reason it works is because he has to get 8 badges and then he can fight the champion, right? That's
Yeah.
why it works. So we need something like that where he has to gain like a piece of a puzzle every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when the puzzle is complete, he gets to fight the main villains. We need to figure that out. What is he trying to collect?
So again, as I said, it could come from a philosophical outtake as well, or maybe some sort of a weapon as well. So because when he goes to Japan and stuff, like he could, like Ikigai is one of the philosophy. Because I'm a huge into philosophy. If he goes into a Greek side, like he could have something from a cultural, like how they had stoicism and stuff.
Yeah.
So he could gain something. So I imagine something like the protagonist is sort of like me, a bit socially, I wouldn't say socially awkward, but shy, reserved, weak sort of a guy. But
You just
then
want to be in your own anime.
I know. I always wanted to be a superhero. Might as well be in this one.
No, we got you.
So, for example, he goes into, say, the Japanese kind of a setup there,
Yeah.
right? And he needs to find something there, whatever the piece of the puzzle is, like, which are the weapon. To get that, he has to prove himself. He goes, he fights him, fucks up.
Yeah.
That's all. And then he kind of has to learn that philosophy. Like, there is the Japanese guy who's teaching them, oh, you kind of, you can't have to keep your head calm and stuff. Something like that,
Just keeping zen.
Yeah,
Like
keeping
in
the zen.
moment.
And he masters that again. And essentially, he beats the guy, whoever is there, proves himself, gets it.
Runs into Sun Tzu.
I mean,
Yeah.
this isn't.
Yeah, so, and then, yeah, move on.
That's the guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, on the note of philosophy as well, you could always do like Carl Jung in the Shadow type of thing, where it's like he has to figure out he's like this dark side of himself. Then he's been neglected.
I feel like you
Bring it
boys
in.
are just trying to show off that you know philosophy. This is fuck all to do
But
with our
again, this
story.
could be a path to self-discovery as well, his own path. The whole thing is like a metaphor.
But we still need him to
This
call.
guy's got a bad case of ego over
Oh,
here. Am I
yeah.
right? Sigmund Freud called it.
It's super ego, actually.
Sigmund Freud called it the id, but I'd call it the idiot.
I think we need to still figure out what he's collecting. Like maybe it's a weapon, maybe it's
It could be a
it could be
trinket for
something
all
else.
cases point.
Like,
Maybe he needs it to unlock access to the final challenge.
like in free run, she kind of collects spells or weapons or something. So it could be like that. Again, we are making him mythical, right? So he kind of just draws that from his armory out of like when he says a spell. But so he goes to Japan, he gets another spell. He goes to say another region and he gets kind of their spell from there.
It's a bit cliche, but the way this usually goes in anime that I've watched and shown is that they like if they gather like powers or weapons or something, they spend the whole season gathering it, and then they fight the final villain, and the power or weapon doesn't work, and then they overcome him anyways.
Yeah,
it's like the usual cliche of how it goes.
Yeah, because
So maybe we could subvert that. Maybe the weapon just works and just one shots the guy. I don't know.
It's just that was easy. Yeah. I was thinking like, what if it started out like I don't know. I just have this loose idea of like, what if it was like as he starts off with a knife, that's his thing. But then if he beats this guy, then the blade gets a bit bigger, or then beats another guy, then like that grows a sheath, and like the weapon kind of grows. Independent, like it depends on who he beats as well. Like whatever, like let's say he fights a guy with an axe gets incorporated into his weapon.
Yeah, exactly.
So it becomes very unique to his own journey type of thing. And who knows, maybe the weapon he comes up with at the end isn't working. Like it's not the fucking good one and everything. But it's all about like how you piece your weapons together or something like that. You know?
Yeah, could be.
And it doesn't have to be a weapon, but like you know what I mean, where it builds on his story type of thing. You know?
Yeah.
I think a weapon of some sort is what we're agreeing on.
Cool.
I feel like there's some sort of weapon we're agreeing on here.
What kind of weapon? A Glock?
Glock. I feel like maybe a sword that gets imbued with the.
Like a katana from
Yeah.
Japan, a magical katana where
It
like,
gets
you
his-
know,
He gets like an axe head from the Vikings or something.
It gets
Yeah.
imbued with the power of everyone he faces.
yeah, or a shield or something. Like they grant him the power. So again, like if you take one step back, right, the whole thing could also be a metaphor as a self-discovery. So he's like becomes a nihilistic guy, the protagonist. He's thrown into this world and he needs to kind of get out of it.
Yeah.
And he needs to be this nihilist dictator. And the whole journey at the anime is as a metaphor of him finding meaning for his life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I like it. It's
Absolutely,
good.
Yeah.
And that could be symbolic in the weapon. Like
Yeah.
the more that discovers, the more that builds.
Are we
the
gonna
more he's
make? Are we
learned.
gonna make the weapon work in the end, or is it gonna fail?
I like the idea. I'm always a big fan of the idea. It's like the weapon gets him to the final boss, but
Yeah.
then something happens where he hits it. All the other pieces, and all
Yeah,
he's left
yeah,
with is
yeah.
the original knife. But that's enough.
That's a bit
to do it.
cliche, though.
All right, so how about this then?
But cliches work. The cliches work.
The cliche is for a reason, Dan.
All right, I'll go fuck myself
If you don't mind.
if you don't
Nobody
mind.
else will.
But the format or the structure remains the same of most animes. There's just
Yeah.
a subtle variation there, right? So he could get weapons and stuff, right? But essentially, at the end, he realizes it's not about the weapons, but
It's about
the teachings that he has got.
The friends he
from-
made along
Yeah,
the
yeah.
way.
Made along
Dang
the
it,
way.
I haven't seen that before.
It's actually about the teachings and that he has within himself. It's not the weapons itself, but how he uses it, his own power, and that kind of helps him defeat the villain and stuff.
There's a really good anime called Blue Dragon. I don't know if you guys ever watched this.
Heard of it, not seen
It's
it.
actually super strong. It's like super underrated for how good it is. Because it was like an adaptation of a video game, but it's actually super strong. And they have a similar thing where he goes like the first 5 episodes and collects stuff to get stronger. He goes up to the main villain and he gets his ass kicked in like 30 seconds flat.
Okay.
And he gets thrown out. And then
like
the
that.
rest of the 25 episodes about him building back up to the journey, you know?
Yeah.
I always thought that was a nice subversion of the trope. Because you literally watch the first 5 episodes and you're like, Jesus, this is about to be over. Like, he seems so strong. And he just gets fucking flatlined immediately.
I see what you mean. So he has to keep on going back and rebuilding.
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah.
That could happen. Well, I guess that's kind of playing off on it. But like, yeah, what if the first round of weapons he comes up with that doesn't do the trick? You know.
Yeah.
And then he's back to square one with just a knife.
Yeah, and then we could get to revisit all the characters we established earlier. We have to write more of an actual story.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
these could be him visiting different places could be arcs
Yeah.
on their own. So and like he gets something from there. We need to introduce side characters as well. So
Well, we got Pakistani Vegeta.
oh well, yeah. So, you are not doing.
And we are doing that. You
And that's
cannot.
it.
I'm Mana. I want to be the main character, but everyone, everyone I hate
I have
can't
to
be
like
in
everybody.
it. Yeah,
I have to like everybody else.
as a Mana Sue.
Let's make it like this. Instead of him
He's trying to
being,
curry this whole show.
instead of him being like a side character, it's like a region he needs to visit to gain something, and he's like, "Oh, I hate this place." And then when he actually goes there, he realizes they're not much different to him.
Yeah,
And then he's like, "Yeah, why the fuck
That's-
have we been
that's what-
fighting for a while?" Like
that's why we should have a Vegeta type character from there.
potentially. Yeah, but yeah, well, but Vegeta, yeah, well, but Vegeta is much more loved than Goku, and I wouldn't want that.
You don't want to make him likable. I see what you mean.
I'm the main character here, guys.
All right, well, how about this though? How about another person where it's like they're kind of rivals? Like I was thinking, what about another guy, but he's starting off with Buddhism. So if you're Hindu, like he's Buddhism.
yeah, that
so it's
makes
similar,
sense.
but like they're two different mountains type of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
And maybe they're not always opposed, but like he's on a journey as well.
I can't believe you're down with the idea more when we made him Buddhist instead of Muslim.
Wait, what?
Saying when he was a Pakistani Muslim man, I was like, no. And you were like, maybe he's Buddhist, and you're like, oh yeah, maybe this could work.
That's pretty chill.
Okay, forget about their like religion for a while. Because I don't want to get.
What about
cancelled.
cultures? We'll go to cultures. Yeah.
You're
no.
not gonna cancel. There's like 50
no.
people who listen to this. They
More
ain't
like-
cancel.
Oh, you may never know what clip might go viral. I don't know.
Sorry, I haven't-
Yeah, your podcast might blow up as well, and so will my career.
He's very optimistic and pessimistic at the same time. It
Yeah.
might blow up. But
So will
might-
you what?
So will my career at the same
Your
time. Career.
career.
Yeah. I mean my day job. My day job. I might
I
be
just
let go
wanted
from
to
my
make
day
it
I thought
job.
you were saying like more curry.
I wanted to make another. Yeah, I wanted to make
Oh,
another
God.
character.
Yeah, you're so stereotypical. Your literally job also has curry in it. Oh my god.
More curry.
More curry.
He's a courier.
Yeah.
Do you have some courier?
Courier, yeah.
I like the idea though. It's like a bit like what Oda does in One Piece, of like introducing all these characters in the first arc of him going to the nihilistic dictator, and then all of them coming back later.
Yeah. So we could have their personality traits, and based on their personality traits, we can then establish them to maybe the regions. Like, you know how like the protagonist is sometimes like underrated, shy, and
Yeah.
gets it through the power. One is like this overconfident fucker, always cocky, but then he's strong.
One's always a pervert.
Yeah, sort of like that, you know.
Also, he's
and there is always like
He's
the,
Catholic then.
Yeah, the woman
Yeah.
representative as well. Usually, like
Yeah, the woman representative with huge badunkas.
But don't look at them. So with
I
that,
don't believe in sexualization like that. So it's,
What a cowardly answer,
I
dude.
know, I'm a feminist.
You ever see Ichiro Oda's answer when someone asks him why do you draw every woman in One Piece with big titties?
No, what
Have you ever seen his answer?
I've seen one answer, but I don't think
It's
it's the
so
one he's saying.
legendary,
What
dude.
did he
If
say?
someone asks me, he's like, because I like looking at big tits. Do you not like looking at big tits? What's wrong with you?
And you know it's pretty wild. Like the manga starts off with big tits. The anime takes it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Honestly. So no, you know what? There's a nice simplicity to that.
There's a
logic.
nice honesty in his
Yeah,
answer.
yeah.
Good bit of honesty.
What'd you think?
Yeah.
What'd you think my answer was gonna
Yeah,
be? I heard though, like one thing where he's just like, I just have a really hard time drawing women, so I just get the tits right, then that's it, type of thing. But I like that answer more.
We would like to have them more of a substance, though. To be honest, like
Oh,
you know.
100%. No, it annoys me. Some like One Piece is a great example where sometimes like the anime, like they're just so big, and it's like, actually, can you not? Like, I'm actually annoyed at like just how
They're
voluptuous
just
it makes
too
something.
big. These titties are too big.
Well, no,
I
but,
can't
like,
focus.
There's one where like as Fishman Island where like Nami like hugs like Chopper and
Yeah.
he goes like right between and it's like, was that necessary? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's supposed to be a nice heartwarming moment. Can you tone down the titties?
Yeah, like the anime I saw Free Run, right? They had mostly 2 women protagonists, and
Yeah.
they're beautifully written, amazing. Like you know, and I was like, this is actually pretty great, you know. So anyway, we could have these sort of characters with them. What would be their personality traits? So one is the sort of the protagonist.
I was about to say like total bitches, but no, no.
What is their mythology as well?
Yeah, what would be the female mythology? Like what is
Amazon.
Amazons?
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Amazons.
Amazons.
Venus sort
She
of
works in a
something.
warehouse.
Next day delivery. That's her superpower. Excellent
Superpower.
TV.
She gets to take a toilet break.
If you beat her, then you get access to watch The Boys and Invincible and all that.
Amazons is strong though.
I've seen The Boys, this first 3 seasons. I need to see the latest season.
I think the Irish person should be a woman.
Yeah, I'm digging with that. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Irish mythology.
Irish mythology.
Paganism is very female rooted.
Yeah, Banshee is a great character.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Well, banshees, but also like in paganism, the 3 gods, the neutral, the female, and the male god are all women.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
male god in pagan mythology is a woman.
I like it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
That's good. So yeah, you could have that. But what would be their? So I was thinking you establish the character traits first, and then maybe find the mythology first. Do you know what I mean? What would be their character traits? Like take any other character.
So your
within-
guy is shy in a nutshell. Your guy is like shy.
the cliched protagonists.
Yeah.
Like you know, and
I kind of like the idea of like
He loves his friends. He likes eating a lot.
I like the idea of like the Buddhist guy just being like everything's kind of handed to him, where he's in such a good headspace. So, like he's kind of like a golden child, type of thing. So he's chill and he kind of deserves it, but it's also like it's too easy for him, type of thing. I like the idea of I do like the idea of the Irish person being like a woman who's a very strong personality, very confrontational, as
Anger
well.
issues.
Yeah, very confrontational. Yeah.
Insanely OP, like overpowered, but with anger issues. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Lets the anger get into her head when she's fighting and stuff.
And the Amazoness woman, she's like really shy as well. That'd be kind of funny. If her mythology is like this mythology of warrior women who just fucking rape men, and then she's like super shy as a
Death by
person.
Snoo Snoo.
Yeah. Death by Snoo Snoo.
Yeah.
And then she's like super shy. She's like a bookworm.
Well, maybe that's her journey. Her character arc is finding her confidence, type of thing.
Yeah.
You know
So
what
they
I mean?
could have their own character arcs. I mean, journeys.
They should, yeah.
The whole thing, like how Hunter x Hunter did, like Gon and Killua had their separate journey. Leorio and Kurapika had its one. So Kurapika shown between the York New City arc,
Yeah.
and then so
Yeah.
everybody gets their equal like
Yeah,
character
everybody
space and their
gets to
journey.
develop. Yeah.
And they have their own flaws essentially as well.
So then I guess like if the Irish character then if she's like very confrontational, her thing is to like kind of like to learn how to trust people.
Give up the
'Cause
drink.
she's- No, yeah, exactly. No, but she's been like maybe she's been fucked over by England for so long.
Go
She's
sober.
hyper confrontational, but she's like learning to trust again.
You're going back on this country representation thing, man. That's not what we're doing.
We got a lot of stuff up
We're
in the
doing
air. We got a
mythology.
little-
There's not a character representing Ireland and a character representing England.
England is Winston
Mythology.
Churchill.
Yeah.
No, fair enough. There's a few concepts in the air there, but no, I see what you mean though. Where they all start off with
There's
flaws,
one
but then
concept in
their
the air.
journey is to figure out how to solve those flaws.
Some of them could leave them between the journey as well, and that's fine because once their arc is over. But essentially,
I think the
So-
Buddhist should have a straight arc. Like his is a
I
flat
still
arc.
think he should be a Pakistani Muslim instead of a Buddhist. I'm not over this yet. I know.
this guy is bloody upset.
Get off the topic.
I just said we could have that arc where, like, it's about him finding peace, like, because I hear the Indian guy, the protagonist, has been taught to kind of hate them for a long time,
Yeah.
and he doesn't even know why.
Yeah.
That kind of explains the conflict.
That'd
there.
be perfect. That's
That
what
could
I'm
be a
thinking.
mini arc then, though.
Yeah,
That
that's
could
what
be a
I'm.
mini
That'd be
arc.
perfect.
There could be a mini arc where this person has to make peace with the guy to kind of get through the next
That's
level.
way more interesting than fucking angry Irish woman learns to calm down. That's way more interesting to be like he learns to love someone that he has been is systematically taught to hate. It's way more interesting, no?
Yeah. Well, yeah, makes sense. It's like, it's one of those, I think it reminds me of that episode where I think it's Pikachu and Meowth are tied together for some say strange reason in the Pokemon, and they have to kind of
Yeah.
find a way out. Do you know what I mean? They have to work together. There was another some episode.
Who gets
like
tied together?
I think it's Pikachu or I don't know, somebody with Meowth, and they have to kind of work together to kind of get out.
Yeah, that's like a TV trope for sure, though.
I love that shit. That's so funny. Pikachu's in there, Meowth is Pakistan. What a metaphor.
But why do you? This guy wants Pakistan more in it. And I'm giving you options. Like, we can make that peace trope there and be like, geez, I was taught to hate you for a very long time, and like, I
Yeah,
don't even
that's
know
what I
why.
want.
Yeah,
that's
like,
what-
What do you mean? That's what I
what we're
want.
getting on.
Peace.
That's what we're getting on with.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like it all comes together.
Our anime could bring peace to the world.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, we could have that journey, that
Yeah.
mini arc there.
And then we have the English character and the Irish character become friends as well.
You should always have.
Oh.
that ends with Ireland taking over England.
You should have the snob as well, like this
Snobby character, yeah,
snob
100%.
character, just like.
That's the Catholics, like
Oh.
that's the Christians.
Or
That'd be the
yeah.
snobby one, yeah.
Or I was thinking like American capitalist or something like that.
That's not a mythology, bro.
I believe in money.
That's not a mythology.
I believe in money.
What's your mythology? Guns and money, brother.
I feel like at this point that is a bit of a religion, you know?
They can summon Trump.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh God.
Absolutely, yeah.
His ears bleeding.
Yeah, that's also one thing. But yeah, there should be a snob. Who would they like? what
Snob
kind-
would definitely be the Christians.
Christians,
dude.
yeah.
100%.
They'd be so like self-important.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, potentially. And who would be somebody in that mythology then?
Like a European stereotype with a combination of like random European stereotypes.
Yeah, so we have like 5 characters now, isn't it?
Yeah, we could have the Christian character. He could have like blonde hair, blue eyes, good height,
Yeah. 6'4".
yeah,
tall,
strong jawline,
What are you
Okay.
getting at?
Italian accent.
There it is, yeah. I was like, wait for it. Oh, that's good. I like that. Oh, okay.
So essentially, if we take one step back, this is how does this anime start? This Indian guy, cliche down on his luck, is like, oh, I need to find this. Everything doesn't make sense.
And he's in a very beige world again. Like
Yeah.
he and these other people, like they kind of stand out. A little.
Yeah.
I feel like anyway, because like that helps kind of identify who
Nihilism has
they're-
taken over.
So
Yeah.
everybody's nihilistic, and everyone's going to get dumbed down and beige
Yeah.
and to poor posture. But there's like a few people out there that are still trying to believe. I suppose.
Yeah.
But he somehow, through circumstances, he kind of gets sucked into this world, and he's like, yeah, I can't escape it unless I fight that guy, the evil
Yeah.
nihilistic guy. And he's like, well, fuck it, that's my life now. And
Maybe
then,
his family gets sucked into it really bad, and that's like his motivation or something.
And he has a whole arc where he has like a whole arc like in The Last Jedi where he kind of like he might actually join the nihilism. Maybe he's in a bit of a slump, and the nihilism guy starts to make sense a little bit. And he's just
or
like,
you could give it like a cliched Bollywood movie angle as well.
they have a dance number.
That might be the most racist thing said today, and you said it, so that's that.
No, that's fine. That's his culture.
The Bollywood angle is there, like where he's essentially his mom is sick and there is no cure. And he
Oh,
goes into this world, and that's the only place. He's like, I have to
that
do
a
this for
classic?
my mom."
Is that a classic plot point in Bollywood?
Well, it's
That mom
the
gets
old
sick.
90s kind of a thing.
I never
like,
knew that. That's pretty interesting.
yeah, well, like essentially, and that's the only you have to do it for my mom.
Yeah.
I guess like every anime has like those silly moments where like they all just get like pretty like comical.
Yeah.
For that would be for the song numbers, the song and dance numbers.
Yeah.
They would be ripe. There would be a lot of them.
We are gonna have to wrap it up here soon because we've been going for an hour and a half.
Oh, is it? Time goes by way too quickly.
So let's summarize what we've come up with. We have an anime based on mythology where our main character is a shy Indian guy who's definitely not based on mana, whose power come from the Hindu mythology. His enemy and later friend, the Pakistani Muslim, and they learn to love each other. They go over the world to defeat nihilism after his family gets afflicted with a bad case of nihilism. And he needs to collect a special secret weapon to defeat the nihilist god, dictator guy, whatever.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And he has side characters with him who is.
An Irish lady with anger issues, shy Amazon warrior,
Okay.
and a snobby Catholic guy with I think a British accent, probably.
Yeah.
probably British.
That does work
Potentially, yeah. So
perfectly.
these
Yeah.
are his like character, like journey, like friends with him.
Yeah.
You summon King Henry VIII.
And the seven.
Winston Churchill.
No, Elizabeth.
The Irish lady fights him. Jerry Adams.
Winston Churchill.
Dude, I can't imagine the Japanese voiceover for an Indian guy. That just
That'd
going to
be
be
so
I would pay a
good,
lot of money to see that. Actually, let's go on Fiverr, see if we can do that.
Yeah.
Oh
Get
my
we can AI generated.
All right, so I think the way we can wrap this up then is, what is the name?
Good.
It's a good.
Good Christian. Hindu champion.
No, because there's more religions as well.
Yeah, but it has to make the main character sound cool.
Like the anime I told you about. The name is Freeren. The journey's end. So something like that. Like, what would you kind of give it? Like a nihilistic or spiritual? Something. There has to be something spiritual word there, probably, or
Mythological warriors. The end of
Cricket
nihilism.
World Championship.
Just they're going to play the cricket.
I don't know, we bring it full circle. Try to bring it full circle.
Mythology warriors. The fall of nihilism. The rise of nihilism.
You gotta be mything me.
You gotta be. Come out with some serious titles. You're not pulling your weight in this pitch meeting, James. I'll be honest.
I asked a question.
Spirit Warriors? No, Spirit Warriors just sound
That's
like
so basic.
Spirit warrior sounds like Shaman King. That's too close. No.
Okay. I got it.
Me and my God.
Me, myself, and Iris or something. I don't know.
And religion's bullshit. The anime. I don't know. I think it's something.
This is so hard, actually.
Yeah.
Mythology warriors, mythology champions, mythology samurai, mythology fighters, something like that. I think would probably be best. That's how most anime is. A pretty simply titled, Like Oda didn't fucking hit creative genius when he came up with One Piece.
All right. Indian guy goes on a journey for mythological discovery
What's
with
the name?
other people.
Let's come up with a fucking silly name for the weapon, the sword, shield, whatever. Armor of gods.
Okay.
Armor of gods.
Okay, I like that.
Armory of the gods.
Armory of the gods.
Armory
Yeah,
of the gods.
Armory of the gods.
Ooh, I do like
Boom.
that. Does roll off the tongue. Yeah, fair enough. I think that's
Boom.
case in point.
Army of Gods, like something, a journey of purpose or something? No.
Armory of
Just
gods.
Army of Gods.
The rise of nihilism. It could be like a subtitle, but I think Armory of gods is a
Armory of
good
Gods.
main title. Armory of
I'm
gods.
digging that.
Army of Gods. Yeah.
Armory of
Really good.
gods.
Yeah. That's it, guys.
That's it, guys. That's it, guys. Just
I like how you started off being like, I'm nervous, my first part. You're hitting the ground running. It's like,
I know.
And that's us. Like, comment, subscribe.
Maanadh, do you want to say if you want to create an anime, give it a go? Can you say that for us?
Sorry? What do I say?
Just say that. Just say what he just said.
If you want to create an anime, give it a go.
Yeah, if you want to create an anime, give it a go.
Give it a go.